There's a beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, up, up.
Hey everyone, I'm back today to share with you what I made for the Artful Stampers Book Hop Challenge number 38. So as you can see, this week we had a sketch, and this is the card I created from it. Now on this card I have incorporated the cracked glass technique, and I'll try and show you on the screen here what it looks like. So as you can see on this Blushing Bride piece here, it's all cracked, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So to do this technique, we'll just get you back in focus. You're going to need a piece of Blushing Bride cardstock, which measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. You're going to need a sponge and some soft suede ink. You're also going to need your heat gun and some clear embossing powder. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sponge. Oops, did that the most awkward way possible. So you're just going to sponge the edges of your Blushing Bride cardstock. And then what I did was I just lightly sponged the middle of the card, so it gives it that aged look and that very vintage look, which is just what I love. And I'm just going to go over the edges once more just to make them nice and dark. The next thing we need to do is we'll need to grab our Versamark, and we're going to just Versamark that whole piece of Blushing Bride. And then we're going to use our clear embossing powder, and we're just going to pour that all over it. As you can see, I need to get some more embossing powder. So once we've done that, we're just going to heat it up. Alright, so once that's all heated and melted, we'll leave that to cool for a couple of minutes, not a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, sorry. And then what we'll do is repeat the process again. So we'll Versamark again, pour our embossing powder over it, heat it again until we get something which looks like this. So I'll do it 3 times, so you'll have 4 layers of embossing on there. And then once it's completely cooled, I did this one this morning, you'll be able to just crack it like this. And I don't know if you can hear it cracking. So it looks like you've just cracked some glass. And I think that's a really cool vintage technique. So I'll show you an up close of that. So that's the end result there. So the next bit we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I made this gorgeous flower here. So what I did was I got a piece of scrap delightful Dijon cardstock, and I just punched a 1 3/8 inch circle. I then covered that in some snail, or fast fuse would also work. I then got my lace ribbon, and I just started, and I have it the right way, and I just stuck a bit down, and then I just scrunched it up and continued around the circle like that until I got something which looked like this, and then I just added a vintage brad to the centre. So now we can put it all together. So to do that, you're going to need a piece of soft suede cardstock, which is just an A4 piece cardstock cut 14.8 centimetres, and we're just going to fold this one in half and crease it. And then I have a piece of Timeless Elegance Designer Series paper. Now this measures 3 7/8 by 5 5/8, and I'm just going to sponge the edges of this, whatever I did with my ink pad. And again, I just came in and I just sponged around the edge, just like so, just so it really tones down that very vanilla and doesn't make it so bright. I also sponged the soft suede piece. So I'm just going to attach the Elegance piece to our soft suede base. Just like that. And then I have a piece of very vanilla here, which is just a piece, which is measured at 3/4 by 2.5. And again, I'm just going to sponge the edges of that. And I'm just going to create a banner piece on each end. So I'm just do that by snipping up in the middle and then snipping either end to create our banner. And we'll just sponge that end of the banner piece there just to make it look all nice. And then I've got the happy birthday greeting from the Sprinkles of Life stamp set. And I'm just going to stamp that in our soft suede here. Just down towards the bottom of that banner piece. And then we'll attach that to our blush and briar piece. So just down the bottom, oops, you can't even see that, down the bottom here. Right, then we'll attach this to our card using some dimensionals. Alright, so we'll attach that off to the side here. And then our last piece we need to attach is our flower. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of that and attach it so the flower is sitting over the banner piece. And you'll just need to hold it there for a couple of seconds just until the glue sort of sticks and holds, because you are trying to attach it to a glossy surface. Oops, no, I'll just put that aside there, and I'll put my soft suede ink pad away so I don't get it all over everything. And that is the end result, and that's how I created that card. And on the inside of this card I just heavily sponged a piece of very vanilla. So I hope you like my card, and I'll see you next week for another creation. Bye!
Good time, sunshine, gonna be here in no time now.